I got a mug from my auntie which has got a motivational quote on it, and I hate a motivational quote. The quote is, "You've got the same amount of hours in the day as Beyonce." But not the resources, Janet. I do love that painting. There's a few things I love about the house. I love a gadget. So I've got an Alexa. Have people got Alexas? If you don't know what it is, it's like a little disc, and you call it Alexa, and she does things for you. I literally got it because I wanted to teach her sinister things. That's literally the only reason. I just wanted, when friends had come round for dinner and they were leaving, they were saying, "Oh, lovely to see you, Joe. Thank you so much for having us." I just wanted to go, "Alexa, lock the doors." I've got these plugs as well that connect to the lights, and it means I can turn the lights on using Alexa. And I've given all the lights in my house middle-aged receptionist names. So when I go up to the bedroom, I go, "Alexa, turn Susan on." It feels nice. A lot of comics, a lot of writers will have next to their bed a pad and pen where they'll jot down ideas, things that come to them at 4 a.m. in the morning that they think are genius. I used to have the pad and pen, but I never used it because I couldn't be bothered, really, when I woke up. Now I've got Alexa, I do it all the time. I ask her to remind me of stuff all the time. Here are my 4 favourite things that I've asked Alexa to remind me. 1, glory hole in a glass door. Not sure if I was going to pitch that to Dragon's Den. Oh, a solution to the drugs problem, which actually I think is quite good. In my utopia, all drugs are legal, but they're all £1, and you have to really want them because the only way to access them is in those grabber machines that they have at fairs. Waking someone to tell them something unimportant, I just love the idea of running into Mum and going, "Mum, Mum, 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 Mum! I'm really enjoying the latest series of Game of Thrones." And finally, who called them turtlenecks and not ugly shit clothes? Who did that? Who did that? Showed Alexa to Peter when he came round when I first got her. I said, "That's good, isn't it? She answers questions, plays music." He's like, "It's a piece of shit." Disappeared into the house. Next morning, I was talking to my father at 11 a.m. on the dot, because I remember it very vividly, because Alexa pops up and goes, "This is your daily reminder to suck a dog's cock." 11 a.m.'s early for that, I feel. 3:45 at the earliest, I find, for sucking a dog's cock. I've also, another thing I love about the house, I've got an off-licence. I love the off-licence. It's an off-licence sort of grocery. Baz, who runs it, my new best friend, he came round to the house when we were doing the works, and I was outside, and he said, "Oh, can I have a look?" And I said, "Oh, yeah." And I showed him the attic. I said, "This will be my bedroom." And he said, "What do you do?" And I said, "Oh, I'm a comedian." And he went, "Oh." And that was the extent of the conversation. Next day, I went into the shop. It was really busy. He ran up to me and went, "You didn't say you're a TV comedian." I said, "Oh, yeah, I've been on telly a bit. It's not that big a deal. Let's not make a fuss." And he went, "Gonna have fun up in that attic?" And I said, what do you mean by that?" And he went, "With all the comedy girls." And I went, "Oh, chance will be a fine thing." You know, tried to be laddie. And he leant into me and he went, "You're a dirty dog." Anyway, Baz and I have been fucking in the attic for a while now. It's been marvellous. The reason I mention the off-licence is something happened there on the day that I got the house, and I still can't get my head around it. I went in to get a celebratory bottle. I thought that'd be nice to celebrate buying a house, exciting achievement. In front of me was a lad buying a 4-pack of lager beers. "Few tinnies with the boys, what's the game?" And I was here, there was a girl. It wasn't Baz on the till that day. It was a girl, she was probably about 18, couldn't have been much older. And she said to the guy, she said, "Can I see some ID?" And he went, "Fucking hell, for fuck's sake, this is fucking ridiculous." And then had ID. And showed it to her. And she looked at it and she went, "Yep, that's fine." And he paid for it and went out with his beers. And I went up with my bottle of Pinot Blush. I was like, he was really full on, wasn't it? Really aggressive and horrible. And she went, "He's in here every day, and it's always the same." Time moves in one direction. Because I've been in my childhood bedroom most of my life, I've got no stuff, got no furniture. The amount of aunties and uncles trying to lump shit, coffee tables, mugs. Everyone's got a bloody mug to give you. I got a mug from my auntie which has got a motivational quote on it, and I hate a motivational quote. The quote is, "You've got the same amount of hours in the day as Beyonce." But not the resources, Janet. Showed it to Peter. I said, that's bollocks, isn't it? And he went, yeah, so did Rose West. See how that turned out. I was like, wasn't my issue with the mug, but you go for it, darling. I've become a bit obsessed with tap because I'm on my local sell and swap Facebook group. If you're not on yours, there will be one in your local area. Have a look at it after the show. What it is, if you're not familiar with the sell and swap concept, it's people with nothing to do with their lives trying to sell and swap utter shit that they found in their houses. There was a woman on there the other day. She wanted to swap these sausages. She bought some cauldron vegetarian sausages. She realised they weren't vegan. She wanted to swap them for a bag of fruit, e.g. plums. I know what fruit is. I don't need an example. What is this fruit? Some of the shit you get on here. Wooden snail. Right. 4 comments. Who's looking at that going, I need more information. What is that? I don't know what that is. Unusual unglazed vase. You say unusual. I think someone's wrapped some ham round itself. That's what it looks like to me. This one's... It's horrible, isn't it? Horrible. This one's particularly batshit. This is, I'll zoom in on this one. About 120 adult DVDs can easily sell for £1 each, so good profit. Open your boot at work and let the lads dive in. Look at them just on the side next to the kettle. Horrible. Of course I'm trolling this group, of course I am, with my character Christopher Butterslip. There he is. That's a drawing I did of Mickey Flanagan that didn't go very well. Done a lot of good work with Christopher. I'm very proud of the work I've done with Christopher. First thing I did, there was a girl, she was selling a Jean-Paul Sartre book for £4. She'd used it in her dissertation. She needed it no longer. She put it on the sell and swap. I got in touch with Christopher. I said, just out of curiosity, could you take a picture of the first page? And because she had nothing to do with her day, within minutes a picture emerged on the group. So then I put, and now the second page. I got to 5 pages before she realised I was trying to read the book through the pictures. Oh, this one was good fun. Little Sammy's grown out of these ocean pals. I've also got about 4 copies of the Gruffalo, looking to swap for something a bit more grown-up, she said. No, some of you are further along here. I suggested knives and saws. That's what I suggested. A nice selection of knives and saws. She put, not quite what I had in mind. So I thought about it for a little while. I was like, oh, I've got some adult DVDs. Let the lads dive in. Favourite thing I've done on the sell and swap, it's pathetic this. I set myself up for a joke. I listed my own thing. I listed a bag of butter mints for £1. Christopher Butterslip, bag of butter mints, £1. Logged out, logged in as me, Joe Lycett, commented, what condition are these in? Logged back out, in as Christopher Butterslip, mint condition. Very happy with that. Oh. I'm a bellend, aren't I? Now, guys, I want to tell you about a little project I've been working on for the last year. And there's no nice way of saying this. There's no easy way of saying this. I'm just going to have to rip the plaster off. For the last year, just under a year, I have been trying to destroy the career of Tom Daley. There's no easy way of saying it. I've said it. It's gone. It's out there now. I've said it. I've said it. I should caveat all of this by saying I think Tom Daley's amazing in lots of ways. He's an Olympic diver. I'm sure you're aware of Tom Daley. He's gay. I think he was pushed into coming out as gay before he was necessarily ready. There was a lot of fuss about it from the gay press, and he's been a brilliant gay rights advocate in lots of ways. You might have seen that him and his husband Lance Black announced a few months ago that they're having a baby together. Shouldn't be a brave thing to do in this day and age, but it was. He got a lot of nastiness, and he's been serene throughout the whole thing, so I do think he's brilliant. However, I now want to slag him off. So... Tom Daley irked me last summer for 2 reasons, 2 Instagram posts, and I'll show them to you now. This is the first one. This is him at Gay Pride. Love the way that he's extending his arm out there to show the parade march there. Love the look of a smile on his face. Beautiful framing there. Before I go into too much detail about this, what's going on with the hand? Where is the other finger? I've looked at it loads. I don't know if it's a lighting thing, whether it was edited out. I don't know how that happens. And I said, well, have you ever had oral sex? And he went, yeah. And I said, well, the mouth's not really meant for sex, is it? And he went, oh. And I said, I'll see you in hell. I think we've got a nice Facebook group, the King's Heath Neighbourhood Watch group. I'm sure you've got one in your local area. I'm sure yours is as batshit as ours. This is a sample post. There's a serial pooper who keeps going on Heathfield Road. Definitely human, and from the looks of it, likely the same person. Definitely human, likely the same person. What empirical data are we using for this, please? Oh, that's Martin again. We're very funny people. This wasn't a funny post, but they said the King's Heath Pet Centre was robbed last night. They broke in and stole a bunch of stock and money from the till. Horrible. First comment on this, any leads? It's so efficient, it's beautiful. I'll never write a better joke in my life. It's a nice place to live, King's Heath, nice place. Something made me love it a little less. About 4 years ago, I got in a cab, got into an Uber. And he was the lovely driver. The driver said to me, just started with Uber. I said, how are you finding it? And he said, oh, it's wonderful. I'd lost all my confidence. And now I can put food on the table for the kids and I feel so much better about myself. And I said, how do you feel about King's Heath? Because he lives there as well. And he said, oh, it's a lovely place to live, isn't it? But, you know, we do have our problems. You know, in schools, they're teaching kids it's okay to be gay. I was like, shit. Unfortunately, I've had to deal with quite a lot of homophobia recently. I've discovered that someone in my family is homophobic, which is really disappointing, I suppose is the word, because that's not who we are as a family. We're not homophobic. We're racists! I won't tell you which family member it is. I'll just tell you I've got 3 aunties. I've got Auntie Susan, Auntie Deborah, and Anti-Gay Marriage. And she's a born-again Christian, which is fine. I don't mind being religious, whatever. But born-again is the gayest of the religions she could have chosen. It's so ostentatious. I'm born again. It's so over the top. Literally means you came to it in later life. That's all it means. By that definition, I'm born again anal beads. So I'm in the back of this Uber and he's saying they're teaching kids it's okay to be gay in schools. And I said, oh, it's a shame you say that because I'm bisexual and that affects me. And he went, oh, I'm so sorry, I don't want to offend anyone, I don't want to upset anyone. It's just, in my religion, the anus isn't meant for sex. And I said, well, have you ever had oral sex? And he went, yeah. And I said, well, the mouth's not really meant for sex, is it? And he went, oh. And I said, I'll see you in hell. He loved that. He laughed. We laughed all the way through the journey. At one point, he said, you're really funny. Are you on Facebook? I was like, darling, I'm a huge fucking deal. But nobody, shouted. No one was aggressive. No one was violent. We just had an adult conversation about it. I got out the cab, reported him to Uber, and he lost his job. It's a nice story. It's a nice story. But what he was referring to was, at that time, we had protests in our local area outside one of our schools. It was against this. You might remember it was in the press a little bit. It's called No Outsiders, and it was a series of books that had been curated by one of the teachers at the school, a man called Andrew Moffat. And it was literally books that teach kids that some people have mummies and daddies and all different shapes and sizes of family. This is one of the books, Mommy, Mama and Me, completely harmless book. I'm against this book myself, just because it looks to me like they're raising a young Phil Spector, but other than that, perfectly nice book. This is one of the other books, Daddy, Popper and Me. Again, I'm against this because it looks like Dominic Cummings and I are raising a child weird. Isn't it weird? I think that's fairly clear. But our MP at the time was this man, a man called Roger Godsiff. Now, I know he looks like a pantomime villain. He's absolutely not. He's a real-life villain. He's a twat. And he's a Labour MP, voted against gay marriage, and while these anti-LGBT protests going on in his constituency, he was nowhere to be seen. I'd emailed him, no response, and in the end, I was like, I'm just going to have to smoke this prick out. So I just did a bit of light trolling of Roger Godsiff, that's all I did. I just tweeted, I just said, has anyone seen Roger Godsiff? I think I saw him riding his bike. Where might you have seen him? People went mad for this. Oh, I saw him in the gym getting serious gains. I saw him playing for the local team. I mean, he got weird quite quickly, but that's Twitter, isn't it? That's what happens on Twitter. But while Roger Godsiff was nowhere to be seen, these protests kept going on. They went on for weeks. And in the end, the protesters started speaking to the press, and they're saying mad shit like this. This is to the BBC. When it comes to sex and things, why are they teaching them that? Why can't they just teach them what they need to be taught? No one was teaching kids how to have gay sex. That's not what these books are about. They're literally teaching kids that some people have mummies, and daddies, and all different shapes and sizes of family. No one would write a book teaching kids how to have gay sex. And then I thought, I would like to see that book. And, sometimes if you want something to exist, you have to make it yourself, don't you? So this is A is for anal. I've been working on it for a while. It's a very simple concept in many ways. Very simple concept. Teach your child the alphabet and gay sex is a very simple concept. David Walliams gave me a quote which is so nice and you didn't have to do that. So lovely of David Walliams. And we could play this together, boys and girls. Shout out, what do we think B is for, boys and girls? Balls. Well done, it is balls. It gets trickier. What do we think C is for? CBT, lovely thought. No, it's not, but there's no wrong answers here. Anyone else? Cock cage. Cock cage? It's not cock cage, but it could be a cock cage. Yeah, no, I'll give it to you. It's cupping another bloke's balls. That's what it is. What do we think D's for, boys and girls? Dark room, there's some queers in, there we go. Some of you might need to Google that is later, some confused straight people looking at me there. What's a dark room? Just go to it. There's a place called Bolts that I'd recommend. Anyway, E's quite tricky. What do you think E's for, boys and girls? No, that's a nice thought there, Ellen, a nice thought, lovely. Emo? Easy access. It is easy access, well done! Well done! Very good! Said so confidently. Dad, is that you? In Newcastle, somebody said, "Is it E? That hurts." It should be. It should be. I got it wrong. You're all going to get this one. Last one, boys and girls. After 3, what do we think F is for? 1, 2, 3. Fisting? It's fighting homophobia, actually. Fisting. That is disgusting. Fisting. This is for children. And you're shouting fisting. G is for gay. I put Alan Sugar. Sorry, it should be gay lord. Sorry. I'll rectify it when it gets to the publishers. Could send it to a few publishers. You can imagine the emails back. I opened the door for her. She tripped and just pissed the chips into the cat. All over the window, into the chair. And because she was so drunk, she just went, shh. It was like pushing them into the road. She's not right. She's not right. We've got now, as well, we've got a 24-hour Starbucks in Birmingham. Nobody asked for one. We've got one. The staff at 4 a.m, genetically closer to a moth. I went in at 4 a.m. It's only the once. I came back late from a show. I thought, I'll treat myself. I'll have a hot chocolate. Guy behind the counter obviously couldn't cope with daylight or anything. Because he's like, "Can I take a name?" And I said, "Yeah, it's Joe. Can I ask why?" He went, "Just in case the order gets confused." Looked around an empty Starbucks. I shuffled along to the service counter. Took him ages to make it. And then he went, "Hot chocolate for John." So to make a point, I just waited. Well... John will be here in a minute, won't he? Oh, he loves a hot chocolate, our John. I suppose it's gentrification, isn't it? It's happening everywhere. I don't mind it really, because it's nice to have nice places to go out and whatever. I think my issue with it is that it jumped up at me, because I didn't go out for a while, because I was writing a sitcom about gay pirates. But I only got 2 lines of dialogue, which is one of the characters goes, "Where's the treasure?" And then somebody else goes, "You're a treasure." That's what I got. Something in it. But then I started going out, and there's all these jazzy bars now, all these sort of quirky places. There's a gin parlour in Birmingham now. I went into the gin parlour, I ordered a gin and tonic. I thought that was appropriate. Very quirky guy behind the bar. Tattoos, piercings, beard. He was like, "We have 200 different types of gin. Is there a type of gin that you've had before?" It's like, "Yeah, I think it was Asda Price. I think it was." Didn't have it, so not that exclusive. Had a vodka Diet Coke in the end. And I got chatting to this guy who was very thin and very pallid. He looked like someone had dressed up a mini milk. He didn't look right. And he was chatting at me, mile a minute, for about half an hour. And then after about half an hour, he went, "Oh, I've lost my Coke." And I think because I was drinking a Diet Coke and I was a bit drunk, in the moment, I thought he meant Coca-Cola. So I was like, "Well, where'd you have it last?" He's like, "In the toilet." I was like, "There's no flat surfaces in there. You must have left it on the floor or something." He's like, "No, I've lost my Coke." I was like, "Well, I'll get you some Coke." Still thinking he meant Coca-Cola. He's like, "What, do you know a dealer?" I was like, "Don't see how that's relevant. I mean, I know an art dealer I could call in the morning, but that seems very off-topic." I was like, "I'll get you some Coke." So I started walking to the bar and then realised on the way to the bar what he actually meant. I'm now on a drugs run for some stranger. How did this happen? And I don't take drugs. I've no idea how you procure secure drugs. I know you can order them online now, which I find absolutely hysterical as an idea, that they can go, sorry you were out. We left 50 kilograms of smack with your neighbour. Did my cocaine arrive? No, but Saj is really mowing that fucking lawn. No idea how it works, do I? So I needed a wee, so I thought, I'll go and have a wee, I'll work out what to do. So I went into a cubicle, because I get stage fright, I can't urinate next to other men, and thank you for laughing, it helps. And went for a wee at my knob, and I popped the lid down on the toilet, and behind the lid was this little packet of powder, and I can see how we would have missed it, it just slipped down the back, but it created this moral quandary, really, because I don't have a problem with people taking drugs. Do whatever you like with your life. But I know cocaine, particularly, the way it's produced, the way it's brought into the country, there's a lot of blood on it. Pretty much every gram somebody dies for it. It's a really horrendous industry that you're funding if you take it or buy it, and it makes me very uncomfortable and sad, really. But also, it's not my property, it's not up to me, it's not my decision, so I didn't know what to do. Anyway, I made £50. Little punchline for you there, you're welcome. That's a heavy... it's a bloody lecture now, it's a lecture. Do you know what, I was going to ask... I was talking there about not being able to use urinals. I've started to be able to do it. I was going to say I need some help, but that sounds really wrong. Basically, I went to the Glastonbury Festival for the first time last year, and the toilets there... I have a rule. If you're doing a poo on somebody else's poo, you've made a wrong decision in life. Let's reassess, let's think things through. So you just sort of have to get over yourself at Glastonbury. So about half the time now I can use a urinal, other half I still use a cubicle. But because I've never used a urinal before, I think I'm doing it wrong. So, by way of a cheer, who, when they're at a urinal, just gets the knob out? Okay. Who then does knob and balls? Right. I don't have any more options. This gentleman here, what was your name? Hello, Peter. What do you do? Not for a profession with your knob and balls.
I treat myself. I sit down.
You treat yourself and you sit down. I'm obsessed with you, Peter. Let's find out about you. So you've never used your... Surely you must have used a urinal at some point.
Yes.
Where are you from, Peter? I feel like you remind me of Mr. Tumnus. So, yeah, what do you do, Peter?
Retired.
Oh, you're retired? What are you doing with your retirement? Sitting down, having a piss? Watching me? Oh, lovely. How's it going for you?
Boring.
Boring? Oh. Ruined my big night, Peter. No, he said it with a smile on his face, I think. Otherwise, I might have to smash the shit out of him. So where do you live, Peter?
Plymouth.
Plymouth? Oh, well, God. Talk about boring, for fuck's sake. Jesus. So you've travelled then? Oh, lovely. Thanks for travelling.
For you?
For me? Oh, it's getting a bit sinister now. You're going to leave the wife in the Holiday Inn. Lovely. Okay, smashing, Peter. Well, have a lovely life. Bye-bye. So hang on, I do knob and balls, is that weird? Yes. This gentleman here going, yes. What? One ball? How's that? Is that all right? What do you do?
Sans balls.
Sans balls. Oh. Bonjour. Sans balls. What a bellend. So just the tip, or do you unravel the whole thing? What are we talking?
A fair bit comes out.
A fair bit comes out. Is this your partner who's having an absolute breakdown next to you? A fair bit comes out. Oh, right, lovely, okay. Give me inches. No, actually, Peter's upset now. Peter's goes all the way down to the bottom and rattles round, I imagine. One day I might just do full trousers down. Fuck it, skin to the wind. Let's move off my knob. Yes, I want to talk now about my friend Claire. She is from Dudley. They have very thick accents in Dudley, you'll be familiar. She talks like that, like she's waiting to die. I love Claire, but she's a few condoms short of an orgy. She microwaves her clothes to dry them. She never cleans the microwave, so she always smells of baked beans. Coarse is the word for her. She's one of those friends you sort of feel like you have to apologise for her. You find it quite funny at the same time. We went to watch Mad Max at the IMAX. Brilliant film, recommend it. But midway through, there are these chastity belts. And she leant over to me very loudly in a very busy IMAX and she went, "Those chastity belts are shit." I said, "Well, why'd you say that?" And she went, "Well, as I always say, if you can get a poo out, you can get a knob in." Something to live your life by, sure. As you always say, never stop saying that, do you, Claire? Little catchphrase. Oh, and she's so bad with men, dreadful with men. She'll go through a different boyfriend every sort of 2 or 3 months, and you know they're a bad egg, just based on their name. She'll introduce me, she'll be like, "This is Zane," or Adolf or something, you just know. And last one, so awful. She came round, she said, "He's got this new sex thing where he likes to ejaculate on my face and take a photo of it." I said, "That's dreadful." And she went, "And I don't know what face to pull." It's a valid question, isn't it? You go like, "Thank you," or do you go like, "Sasa, no Snapchat filter in the world for that, is there? Yes, and she gets so drunk as well, because we go out gay clubbing. We'll club a gay to death maybe once a month. So pleased with that joke when I wrote it. It's like, take the month off, Joe, fuck it. Because it's just a play on words as well. And I don't really engage with the gay community that often. There's one gay club which I love. It's called Hard Cock Life. And it's a gay hip-hop night. And it's because it's very camp gay men paired off with very aggressive, often misogynist rap lyrics. So it'll be like, "Smash her in the pussy." Yeah, smash her in the pussy! That's really good. I don't know if it's an avocado and feta smash in the pussy, I'm not sure. But it's a very good night out. But she gets so drunk, Claire. I had to put her in a cab before midnight the other week. She got this bag of chips covered in curry sauce. She's not very graceful in heels at the best of times. She looks like when I put toilet rolls on my cat's legs. She just sort of like... just not with it. The taxi driver spotted her a mile off. He's like, "You're not coming in this cab with those chips." And she went, "All I want in my life is these chips. That's all I've ever wanted." He's like, "If you soil the cab in any way, you'll have to pay a big fine." She's like, "I won't, I promise, I just want these chips." He was like, "All right." I opened the door for her. She tripped and just pissed the chips into the cab. All over the window, into the chair. And because she was so drunk, she just went, "Shh." It was like pushing them into the road. She's not right. She's not right.